why are some people just not reading this? Like, I don't understand. Does no one like Disney books like I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. Back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Rye, and this is Rye's Reading Corner. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to do so and hit that subscribe button below. So, on to today's video. So, this inspiration was made by when I was going through my Goodreads and realized that some of my favorite books that I've given 5 stars to or high 4 stars don't have a lot of attention on Goodreads. Their score level, like of how many people have read the books and given it stars, is super, super low. So I wanted to make a video dedicated to those books to try and get their name out, and maybe someone like you will fall in love with the books like I did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the books. Some of them are a series, so I've clumped them together. I have written down in my lovely bullet journal how many people have reviewed that book or have given stars to those books. And like I said, they're all pretty low, which is so sad. So let's get started. So the first books that I want to show you guys is a series, actually, and I have mentioned them before because I really do enjoy this series. And it's books by Adriana Mather. So they are the Killing November series. So the main character is November, and she is randomly dropped into an academy made to train assassins. Interesting. She had no idea that her life was going to take this turn, and she didn't know she was part of a prestigious clan. And we dive into the world of the assassins. So we have Killing November, and Killing November had a total of 2,871 ratings on Goodreads, and Hunting November had a lot less, but Hunting November did just come out, so maybe I'm, give it that a little bit of the reason why, but it only had 411 reviews or ratings. So definitely super low, but such a great series. I gave I think I give them both 5 stars. Again, it is mystery, suspenseful. I don't want to go into too much on Hunting November because that definitely would spoil Killing November. But if you like something that has twists and turns, a close group of friends, assassins, you can't beat it. So again, 2 great books, but super low ratings on amount of ratings on Goodreads. So the next group of books that I had that, again, had super low ratings was a series that I really do enjoy. And this is called These Witches Don't Burn and This Coven Won't Break. So These Witches Won't Burn came out, I believe, in 2019. And then this book just came out this month or last month. So that is obviously could be a reason why it has low ratings. But overall, This Coven Won't Break had 413 people have marked it as read and have given it stars on Goodreads. And for These Witches Won't Burn, only 7,313, which may seem a lot, but in the grand scheme of how many people use Goodreads, it's not tons. So this series follows 2 main characters. We have Hannah, and then the first one also follows Veronica, and they are both elemental witches, which means they gain their power from the 4 elements. And they were in a relationship together, so there is a lot of LGBTQ plus representation. Gotta think there for a second. And which is awesome, especially for Pride Month. And they have to kind of come together to help figure out what's going on in their town because someone is there trying to take away their powers, and they believe it is either another witch or it could be witch hunters. So I liked these books so much because I'm not a total huge fan of like full-fledged fantasy. I do like my fantasies, but it's not something I generally go to. But this is set in Salem, Massachusetts, and it has that sprinkle of magic, which I absolutely love, and I love reading about witches. So The Coven Won't Break. Again, I read these both in I think like a day. This one picks up from this series, absolutely perfect. This one I actually gave 5 stars. This one was a 4-star rating. This one has so much twists and turns and shocking things, and I definitely didn't expect how it was going to end. So again, these are both great books. They're a quick series, and actually this author is right from where I live, so I love recommending and shouting out local authors, and her name is Isabel Sterling. I highly suggest if you're looking for something a little bit of magical representation of the LGBTQ plus community, a mystery, witches, these books are right up your alley. So again, loved these books. They need to get more recognition. So the next series, I believe the next one's a series as well. I must be reading series that just a lot of people don't read. So the next one is Girls with Sharp Sticks and caught that book. And Girls with Razor Hearts by Suzanne Young. So this is the first series you'll see by Suzanne Young in this video. I love Suzanne Young. I think she's super, super talented. So this series, first book is Girls with Sharp Sticks, and the second one is Girl with Razor Hearts. So this takes place in a community that has a school for just girls up on top of a hill. It's super secretive, but super elite to go to. Only people that have money, come from prestigious families, go to this school. So pretty much the girls are in training to become perfect women and for men. So they are supposed to obey and follow the direction of the males, and then the males come and pick these girls afterwards. And like I said, it's seen as being a high prestigious thing in the community to have been chosen to attend this school. However, the school is not as it seems, and the academy has a lot of dark secrets. So our characters at the academy, the Girls of Interventions Academy, discover those dark secrets, and things are definitely not what they expected. So these are fast-paced story, but again, a good group of girlfriends that have to come together to escape the male elitists that are at this school and to really figure out who they truly are and where they come from. So this is a great story. Suzanne Young, I think, is such a talented author. I'll talk about her books in a little bit. But Girls with, Girls with Razor Hearts had 657 people gave it a rating on Goodreads. So this is a newer book, so it does make a little sense, but I still think that's pretty low for how good of a book this is. The next book, Girls with Sharp Sticks, only had 5,312 ratings on Goodreads. So I think both of these are underrated books. It's a great series, and it's a young adult novels, and I think you'd truly enjoy these. Next, I am going to move on to a different direction. I'm actually going to introduce you a memoir that, again, super underrated, but I really enjoyed reading about it. And you'll actually have seen this in my mid-year book freakout tag, which I will tag that video. This is a memoir by Andrea Barber. She plays Kimmy in Full House and Fuller House. So I'm typically not a nonfiction person, but I do casually love a good memoir. So this tells about her story growing up in the light of celebrities, and how it was coming back from living kind of a normal life and adjusting to being a kid star, having to go back to being normal once Full House ended, and then having to come back into that limelight as Fuller House. So it's just a fun story, and I think her personality kind of is similar to that of Kimmy Gibbler, and it was just a really fun and quick read. And for anyone that is a Full House fan or Fuller House fan, it does peek into some secrets of Full House, into the characters and actors that were in the show. So it truly was a great read. So this has 1,135 people have marked as read and given it a star rating, which again I think is really low because it is a great book. It is a relatively new book, but still I think that's super low for someone who is such a well-known person. And so I think fewer people should go and read this. It's a quick read, it's a fun read, and it's a light read. So that was my memoir, my only nonfiction in this group of books. So my next books that I'm going to go to are another series by Suzanne Young, which are my favorite. I don't have actually all of them with me because I've currently loaned them out to a friend, because everyone that reads this book absolutely falls in love with the series. So it's called the Program series, and there are 6 books of this series. These are just 3 of them. So I did again talk about this in my mid-year wrap-up because I just loved this series. So the Program talks about a group of areas in the distant future, not super distant, but definitely future, where suicide and depression has become an epidemic, and they're losing a lot of different teenagers to suicide. So they have created something called the Program, and the Program is supposed to fix all the problems and make the suicide rates go down. But what they do is they erase all of your memories, the good and the bad, and leave you just with a couple for you to survive. And then they're supposed to integrate you back into society. You're supposed to be this perfect person who will never have any worries. However, obviously it's not as perfect as it seems, and some kids are forced there because their parents think that something's wrong with them, but maybe they're just having a bad day. So our main characters are brought to that program, and of course things don't go as planned, and it's a great series. So the first 2 books go in line with each other as the program is happening and their efforts to find a treatment to erase the effects of the program. The third and the fourth book talk about what happened before the program was created, so when the epidemic was starting. The 5th and 6th book take place after the program was, they did find a solution to fix it, but obviously it wasn't perfect, and that comes afterwards. But why Susanna Young is so talented is all of those stories intertwine with each other, and all of the characters are referenced in the other books. It is such a mind-blowing experience. At first, I was really bummed because I loved the characters and the treatment and the program, and I thought I was never going to get to see them again, but that's not true. All the characters come back one way or another throughout all 6 books. If you're into science fiction, dystopian type books, again, a group of friends, young adult novels, please pick up the program series. Everyone that I've suggested this book to have ended up falling in love with the series, but they have such low review rates on Goodreads. So the 6th book in this series only had 1,496 reviews. Another one had 2,276 reviews, and The Remedy had 6,420 reviews. I gave all these books a high 4 and 5 stars. I don't know why people aren't reading them. Go out and read them. They are amazing stories. So honestly, they're probably one of my favorite series I've ever read. The next one is, you guys have probably seen me talk about tons of times already, and it is The Knockout Queen by Ruthie Thorpe. This is actually not just one of my favorite books of the year, but one of my favorite books of all time. I've given it 5 stars. This only has 3,503 ratings. Yes, it is a new book, so I'm hoping that does spike up, but I feel like a lot of people haven't talked about this. I don't really see it being hyped on BookTube and Instagram as much as some of those other new books coming out, and this is something that I think everybody should read. It is about 2 people that are in high school. We have Bunny and Michael. They seem like polar opposites. Michael's had a rough life. He does not have a lot of money. He identifies himself as gay. And then we have Bunny, who has a beautiful house, has a lot of money. She's super tall. She's an athlete, popular at school, working towards playing volleyball at the Olympics. However, they both feel like outsiders in different ways, and that brings those 2 of them together. It is a hard-hitting book. It is a slow burn. It makes me happy. It made me cry. It made me laugh. It hits all those check marks in the book. Such a great read. It's told from Michael's perspective as he's older, reflecting on his high school and early college experiences. I have talked about this book enough, so I'm not going to go on anymore, but I highly suggest to read this book. The next one is another book by Adriana Mather. So again, I feel like she's my book's just dropped. Is an author that just needs more attention brought to, because I think her books are super interesting. So the next book is the How to Hang a Witch series. So the one that was lower was Haunting the Deep, which only had 3,881 review stars on Goodreads. But I did want to just put that series together because you definitely have to read How to Hang a Witch first before you read Haunting in the Deep. So what's really cool about Adriana Mather is she has family ties back to the Salem witch trials. So you're kind of seeing a trend. I enjoy reading about witches and Salem witch trials and young adult novels with realistic settings with a hint of fantasy. So this story is about Samantha. She had just moved to Salem, Massachusetts, and her last name is Samantha Mather as well. And people do not like her because of her last name and the connections it has back to the Salem witch trials. There's a lot of twists and turns in this book. I did read it a while ago, so I don't remember every single detail. However, I did really love this book. It had some unexpected turns, and then it goes into Hunting that Deep. And this again has that fantasy sprinkle in it, but set in reality. There is a ghost in the stories, which I didn't think I would like, but I really felt connected to that character as well. Again, Adriana Mather, she's a talented author. I've read all the books by her, and I really do like her writing. I think her writing has gotten stronger as she has written more books. I definitely think these were some of her earlier books, but I still think they're as good as the Killing November and Hunting November series. But again, great 2 books. I highly suggest reading both of these. All right, the next 2 books were books that I given 4 stars to, but I really did enjoy these books, and people just, I don't think, know much about these books, and I would love to share more about them. So the first book I have is Being Jazz by Jazz Jennings. So this is a memoir. So if you guys do not know, Jazz identifies as transgender. She went through the process when she was young, and she has a TV show on TLC, and this is her memoir. So I actually read this book for a grad school class. I took a young adults literature class, and we had to pick a topic that's not necessarily represented in schools very much, and so I picked books representing the LGBTQ plus community. So I read this book for there. I absolutely love this book. I think it tackles what it means to be a transgender teen really well from an outsider's perspective. Obviously, I don't know from the perspective of a transgender person since I am not. However, from an outsider perspective, I really got a good look into what it was like for her being a child at such a young age, feeling like she was in the wrong body. I wanted to give a shout out to this book because it is Pride Month, and it only has 5,684 people have given it stars on Goodreads, which is not a lot because this book has been out for a long time. And I just think it's a book that many people don't know about. So it is a quick read memoir. I did say that I only had one more memoir before, but I lied. I forgot about this one. But I highly suggest picking this up. It's a light read. It's a good read. And I think it has a really nice message, and it's definitely something where you can learn more about the transgender community from this book. The last one I want to talk to you today is a 4-star book that only has 356 people have given it stars on Goodreads, and it is called The Prophet Calls by Melanie Simuro. So this came out in, 2018, and barely anybody has read it according to Goodreads. So it's about a girl that turns 13, and she's given a violin for her birthday, and she has a beautiful musical talent. However, she is part of a cult, and in the cult, music is frowned upon, and it's only supposed to be played when the leader of the prophet, or when the prophet is told that you have to do this. So I'm going to just read this inside the flap because it's been a while since I've read it. So born into a polygamous community in the foothills of New Mexico, Gentry Forrester feels lucky to live among God's chosen apart from the outside world and its evils. On her 13th birthday, Gentry receives a new violin, and more than anything, she wants to play at the Santa Fe Musical Festival with her brother Tanner. Then the prophet calls from prison and announces he has outlawed music from their community and also forbidden women from leaving. So it goes into more, but it's pretty much her journey of realizing that this place that she has grown up, that she's starting to realize that maybe it's not the way to live life, and things are not fair, that women aren't allowed to leave, and they're not allowed to play music, and they have to listen to this person tell them what to do while he's in prison. So it's an interesting read. I really have a fascination for reading about cults and thus polygamous type families and relationships. So she is struggling because, again, she is stuck in this cult type environment, and she's only 13, and she's being told she can't do things because she's a woman or because it's not allowed. So it's definitely a good read. It's a quick read. It's a young adult novel, but it only has less than 4,000 people have marked it on Goodreads. So I think this, again, is an interesting read, and I think it's a really cool cover. I think it's I like the contrasting of the different hair colors and the dresses, and I think the subtlety of it makes a statement. So if you read any of these books, comment below, or if any of these books sound interesting to you, let me know. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of pay homage to some of the books that I really do enjoy but seem to not be super popular through Goodreads, because a lot of these books are super great reads. So again, if you liked this video, please press the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time. Bye, loves.